Case.
But first, we continue to follow breaking news in Cobb County. A man just pleaded guilty to trying to hide the death of his best friend, who was an Army veteran.
Chase Massner disappeared in 2014, and for 3 years, there was absolutely no sign of him until police discovered his remains buried under a concrete slab in the backyard of a home where his friend used to live. Now, Bradshaw Clement is looking at 8 years in jail. Joe Hankey has reaction from Massner's family tonight.
Jeff, a Cobb County judge sentenced Bradshaw Clement to 15 years in total, ordered him to serve 8 years in prison and then 7 years on probation. The Cobb District Attorney's Office tells me Clement entered what is called an Alford plea. It's a negotiated guilty plea. It means Clement will serve the judge's sentence, but legally Clement is still asserting he is innocent. In this video from court today, you can see Clement standing before a judge as Chase Massner's mother watched. Massner, a former Army veteran who served in Iraq, went missing in 2014. In a 2014 interview, his wife told 11 Alive the Massner struggled mentally after returning from Iraq and went to visit Clement to, quote, get some space. In 2017, Massner's remains were found behind Clement's old home in Kennesaw. Massner was then charged with concealing Clement was then charged with concealing Massner's death. The district attorney's office today detailed how Clement said he was being set up and later ran after agreeing to turn himself in. A Cobb County fugitive unit later found Clement days later. A medical examiner's report shows due to decomposition, extensive testing could not determine Massner's cause of death, but there were no signs of trauma when his remains were found. The report also details drugs being in Massner's system. The ME could not determine the exact amount, and drugs were not linked to his death. An assistant district attorney in court today read a statement from Massner's mother, which said, quote, he would not have left his 2 little girls, and words cannot begin to explain the torment me and my family and Chase's friends have been put through at the hands of Bradshaw Clement. In court today, Clement entered his guilty pleas for 2 charges, one concealing the death of another and also making a false statement. When he was walked out of the courtroom, he told Massner's family, quote, I am very sorry for your loss. In the newsroom, I'm Joe Hankey, 11 Alive News.